Yo, what is up guys, and welcome for an amazing build for Armored Core 6. What I have for you today is probably the most powerful build in the game. You don't one-shot or instantly kill enemies like some melee builds, but this is the most powerful in the sense that you can take on almost anything in the game and beat it no matter what. You will be a literal tank moving around the arena so fast and dealing crazy damage, and since we have such high HP, we don't mind taking hits if we can go in close and get the kill. You can make this build pretty early on in the game, as it was able to get me through my first playthrough with no problems at all. It is just so good that even online, it will guarantee you a win almost 100% of the time. I just took the build straight out of my campaign run, and once I went online, I was just getting wins left and right. Now, what makes this build so special? Firstly is the two Gatling guns that we use as our primary armed weapons. These do decent stun damage and great direct damage as well. What makes the Gatling gun so good is that in fact in most fights, especially on one-on-ones, everyone is forced to keep moving. 1 second you stand still and it's over. The stun meter with these bad boys builds up so fast when you land hits perfectly. With the constant barrage of bullets coming from these guns, it is so insane that in most of these PvP fights, the other player will just try to keep your distance or start running away instead of ever coming close. And since our tank legs makes us so fast on the ground, we can chase down every single AC no matter what build they are using. Now for our two shoulder weapons, we have the two stun needle launchers. These two not only stun bosses and players in 2 hits, but even on their own they deal massive damage. The point of using these two launchers is the fact that they have very high stun damage and a very fast reload speed, unlike many other launchers. This makes it so that you can spam very often even if you happen to miss your shot. But in order that you don't miss, always launch your shot when you get in real close to the enemies. Your whole game plan is to constantly rush down the enemies and not give them a chance to get up in the air or start their attacks. With the constant pressure from your Gatling guns and your needle, they'll be forced to be constantly on the move. And as for the rest of your AC setup, we use the Varil headpiece, the VE4OA chest piece, the Molander arms, and the Fortalza legs. Then we use the Talbot chip as it gives us great close range and medium range aim assists. And finally we use the VP20C generator. At the end of the video I will have the full build with all the stats showing off if you wanted a complete detailed look of everything. But that is it for the items that you will need. Now as for how you want to play this build, you are super strong on the ground, but don't try to get up in the air. The tank legs and booster movements are horrible in the air, so always try to stick to the ground. You have a much better advantage on the ground than in the air because of your super fast booster speed. Sometimes in the lobbies after people see this build, they try to then cheese and win by staying up in the air and launching missiles and not coming near you at all. Well, this is probably the only thing that could counter us. But if this does happen to you, all you got to do to beat it is just wait it out. The player's energy will run out and they will have to come down to the ground eventually, after which your onslaught is a lot stronger than theirs. Once they touch down, they can't get back up. That is because of your Gatling guns and your needle launchers constantly having them dodge and avoiding these attacks, that they will never build up that full energy to get back up in the air. Otherwise, the only thing I can see beating this build is in team fights. Every team fight that I've had always revolves around taking out the guy with the Gatling guns. Everyone knows just how powerful and annoying it can be that in team fights, it comes down to you being the biggest primary target. Even for myself, when I see a player with these Gatling guns, it is essential that you take them out first so that you can take out the other enemies with no problems at all. Also with these guns, just don't hold down the fire button on them. The Gatling guns will overheat and it has a pretty long cooldown period before you can use them again. So always just make sure that you don't always spam it. Give a break every 4 or 5 seconds and then fire again. As for 1v1 and boss fights, make sure you always rush in and stay as close to the enemy as possible. We don't do well at long range and our air game is not great. We make up for that by rushing in and barraging the enemies with bullets and our two launchers to quickly stun them from the ground. I hope you all enjoyed the build and I will have a lot more fun builds to share with you guys, so stay tuned for more. I will catch you all next time.